After showing you around the sites and attractions in Iran in my video series, I want to give you some tips and insights about traveling Iran independently in this episode. For this, I sat down with my buddy David in a cafe in Shiraz during our trip and answered some of the most frequent questions we got. Moreover, I put together a comprehensive travel guide for Iran on my blog, with all information needed. You can find the link in the info box below. So, first things first, taxi drivers. Like, there are many things which are different in Iran, but taxi drivers, it's more or less like in Europe, right? It's actually quite funny because the taxi drivers, when you walk through the streets, I guess everybody is assuming that you're tourists, so you're pretty lazy, so you don't want to actually walk. Even so, for example, here Shiraz is a really walkable city, so you can easily get from place to place in like 10-minute, 20-minute walk. You can go to all the major attractions. But when you walk, like every minute, someone is like driving by, honking at you, saying taxi, taxi, you want to take the taxi? And then it's way overpriced actually. If you don't speak Farsi, then it's really hard to negotiate a price. So you should ask a local how much it would be for the distance, and then you should stick to this price. And in Tehran, you can use Snap and the metro quite easy, so you don't actually have to take a cab. And I found that the unofficial taxis, so basically everyone here in Iran can be a taxi driver. So someone with a private car can just like drive by and say like if you want to come with him, and you give him some money. And I found them to be way cheaper, and they were also really nice.
Yeah. They were really nice, but I think you have to, when you talk to the taxi driver or the private drivers, you have to make a fixed price before.
Yeah, that's really important.
So
before you get in, you should fix a price.
Yeah, because afterwards they can say anything. Like,
the next thing, which is really special for Iran, is they say all their prices in Toman. So you have, as a currency here, you have Rial, which is basically 40,000 Rial is like €1. But they say it in Toman, and Toman is with 10 less. So they say like 4,000 Toman, and 4,000 Toman is actually 40,000 Rial, which is kind of confusing. It's not really easy for tourists when you like haggle, when it's about prices. It can be really confusing, and at the end you maybe end up paying 10 times more because you weren't really calculating that.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing which we encountered here walking through Iran is like when you walk through the streets, it smells like gas. This is kind of weird, but like I guess like all the heating and like for the cooking and stuff, they use gas, and there are gas lines all over. And you have these little, I don't know what it's called, but you have these little things hanging out of the buildings everywhere, and they are leaking. So when you walk through the streets, you actually smell gas. And here in Shiraz, you also smell oranges. So the smell is quite distinct. It's a mixture of gas and oranges. Yeah. But I guess they just have so much gas here. I mean, this is like a really oil-rich country, so gas is not really expensive. But it's like one of the first things we noticed when we walked through Tehran. It was like smelling like gas. Okay, nicer topics. The people. I guess like the people, beside all the monuments and attractions you've seen, are the most, I would say like one of the most important reasons why you should visit Iran. Really nice people you will meet here when you walk through the streets. And one of the most popular questions you will get is, where are you from? So you walk through the streets, and when you look like us, like Western tourists, obviously, everybody's interested in you, and they come up to talk to you, and because most of these people here, most of the young people, they learn English and they want to improve their English. So it's a great way to interact with foreigners. And as traveling abroad is really expensive, it is always a good opportunity to practice your English with a foreigner when you're not able to travel yourself. Or what do you think about
definitely.
the people?
I think the people always, they come up to you, offer their help. They want to give you advices to any questions you have about Iran.
Another thing, when you're here in Iran, I highly recommend getting a local SIM card, because data here is really, really cheap. But 600,000 for like 2 weeks of traveling is not too bad. 600,000 is about 15 euros for a SIM card, for data and for calling. And I really highly recommend that, because it's easy to use Google Maps to get around. And then you should also install the app Telegram beside WhatsApp, so you can actually communicate with the locals, and you have a local SIM card, so you have a local number. And this is also one of those questions you get when you get in touch with locals who come up to you to talk to you. For example, when you hang out in a park, and then you can communicate with them, and they maybe invite you for a tea, or we actually used that a lot to ask for help if we have, like, for example, problems with reading Farsi. And then we can just easily ask them to translate that for us. Like in your cell phone, you should also have the Farsi keyboard activated. That's pretty easy to do. Let's talk about Taroof. Yeah, Taroof is actually a word for, or it's like a special thing you have here in Iran, that people say they don't want to have money for something, but you need to ask twice or even 3 times. And they will always, no, it's not, it's for free, it's for free. And then at the end they will mention the price. And we actually, we have a Taroof experiences. So we had this guy coming with us. He was actually guiding us through the bazaar. He was guiding us through Shiraz. It was just like half an hour or something, or an hour, and we asked in between, like, so how much do you want to have for guiding us? And we thought, like, because he said he learned German in school and he wanted just to practice his German. So we said, okay, you can come with us, and we just want to do this and this and this. And he explained some stuff. And he also showed us a really cool place where you can smoke water pipe.
Water pipe was called, what was the name? Hookah?
Hookah.
Yeah.
Hookah. H-O-O-K-A-H. So, hookah. We smoke hookah.
Like in a really traditional
in a local place.
Really local place. And it was a different kind of hookah. It wasn't like a standard water pipe. It was like some wooden stick, like a wooden pipe you stick on the...
Yeah, on the thingy.
On the thing. And it was like natural tobacco, not like apple. Like
shisha, right, shisha.
Shisha, yeah. Not like an apple tobacco or orange tobacco. It was like a natural tobacco.
Really strong.
And it was really, really strong.
Really strong tobacco.
And it was like, you had to drink some black tea afterwards.
Yeah,
some
a lot of sugar
in it
to make up for that. Yeah. But the thing about that was the guy who was actually telling us, everything's for free for you. No problem. I will show you a bit around and stuff. When we were sitting at that tea place, he told us, he asked us for a tip. And the tip was like 1 million.
Yeah.
1 million Rial.
Like when we were smoking the water pipe, he was like, out of nowhere, he was like, hey guys, can you like give me a tip now, And we were expecting like how much, like 200,000 Rials maybe,
which is 5 euros.
Which is 5 euros, which is already like a lot for like how long did you show us around? Like an hour, half an hour. And he was like, 500,000 Rials for each person.
For each. So which means like 1 million. 1 million is like 25 euros. Which like would normally be cool when you do like a big tour or something like that in Europe. And in Iran maybe like a half-day tour. So you can like, just to put that into perspective, we've just been to Persepolis, which is like a 1 hour drive from here, and we took a cab. We haggled the price with the cab driver, so it's like 1 hour from here to Persepolis and back, and we stayed 2 hours there, so it was like altogether 4 hours, and we paid for that cab about that price, like 900,000 we paid for that cab. So for this half an hour, it was quite a lot to ask for. So, and this is like one of those traps. You should be aware of the thing which is called Taroof. You should say like no Taroof, so they understand that they shouldn't do this kind of thing, or that you mean it, that you want to really know if it's for free or not. So you should say no Taroof. Selfies. So a lot of people actually come up to you because you look European, and in Iran they really look up to the Europeans, or like people, Western looking people, and it's the same thing like I experienced in Argentina, that they're really looking to Europe and they want to also go to Europe at some point, and they're really looking up to the people in Europe. And so you have a lot of people actually asking you if you want to take selfies with them. I guess until now I took at least, I don't know, 15 or 20 selfies within 1 week with a lot of people, which is really nice. I mean, this is like the thing about Iran. The people here are just so nice. The food is really good. I mean, if you really should find out what is the special food for each region. For example, we were in Isfahan. There you eat biryani. Here you eat what was it called? Gobre sabshi or something like that.
Yeah, which you ate yesterday, right?
Yeah. And falude,
Here's
which is
the original falude.
Here's the original. No, the best falude they say is here. This is like these spaghetti ice stuff. Traveling with someone else also helps, because you can actually share those awkward moments with, and
you have a little backup, like when
that's true.
You know, confused and you don't know what to do, where to go.
Thank you, David.
How to bargain, you know.
It's quite interesting, and it's a fun country to travel, because it still feels like real travel in Iran. It's not like everything is convenient and stuff. You need to talk with your hands a lot, and it's not easy to get around with English, but that makes it a lot of fun actually.
Yeah.
To round up the video, you should definitely visit Iran for its people and the food, also for the monuments, and you should do it as fast as possible before this country gets too touristic, because you can already see a little bit of the impact right now. But for now, it's a great country to visit, and if you have the chance to get a visa, you should definitely do it.
Now's the time.
Now's the time.